Hey y'all, welcome in and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. Today is one kind of video that I do very sparingly, and we're going to be talking about some things that I love, some things that make life more wonderful, beautiful, exciting, and just taking up a lot of my time at the moment. So, unlike traditional favorites videos, which you may consider this a type of, there are very, very few products in here. And if I mention an actual thing, there is a reason for that mention beside the thing itself. So there are no links. I'm not selling you anything, nor am I telling you to buy something. I think when we get to, there's three, technically four things, but like one of them is like a mending project. I talk about the three things where there's something that I've learned from it, and I think it'll make sense as we go. The point of me sharing a video like this is a fewfold. Number one, to hopefully encourage you to look in your life and find what your version of the stuff in your life, or the things or the non-stuff, the things that make your life beautiful and wonderful and great and exciting and new and fresh and just yours, things that you appreciate and love on, to go and find what that version, what that is for you. And a lot of our lives are spent doing mundane stuff or things that maybe we don't feel like are exciting, but we love, and we get to appreciate those things a little bit more. And I would love to hear, what are you loving on right now? Is it a recipe or a piece of music, a show? Do you have a really great spot around your house that you're loving? I'd love to hear all about that. So there are three categories of this video. There's media, hobbies, and then lessons in life. And I hope you enjoyed this one. So let's jump right in. And I was actually going to start off with some YouTube channels first, but I want to get into actually music first. It was about 2 weeks ago now, maybe a little bit longer by the time this goes up. My brother texted me. He's like, Shauna, Chiodo's released their 20th anniversary edition of All's Well That Ends Well. I dropped what I was doing and went to go check it out. I, like, from this album, I only ever listen to Baby Wooden Last Admitted on the Creek like once every couple of years. That's the only song that I've listened to in the last decade. I was a big fan of this album in the late 2000s, like 2008 to 2010, that kind of era. And oh my God, did it throw me back? Sorry, I shouldn't shake. I was listening. I can't believe I've completely forgot about the word Best Friends Become Redefined, which was one of my favorite songs off of the original album. I've been enjoying that, throwing me back a little bit. I had no idea they were releasing this album. I don't know that he did either, but thanks to him, I've been having some good background music. Okay, we'll get to the last media thing before YouTube, which is still media, but just different media. As I mentioned in the Normalizing Normal Life video, because of one of you who sent in your Star Trek screenshots, so I started watching The Next Generation, and it's been so fun to watch it because Star Trek, the acting on Star Trek, so Patrick Stewart and Kate, I think it's Kate Mulgrew? Yes. They both had stage acting, or they were doing like kind of Shakespeare style. It's very theatrical, the acting. And when I was watching the very first episode again, I was not prepared for all of the dramatics of it. Just everybody screaming and escalating situations out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God. This is not normal reaction. Things just go from 0 to 10 so quick. I don't know. It's a style of acting on TV shows that I love the Star Trek universe and all of these Class M planets that all somehow just so many human type species. It's been an interesting time. I watch it a lot at lunch, which is like a fun lunchtime TV show. I love finding shows. Like, I sometimes just watch too much of the same shows over and over again. I just need a bit of a break, but I also have a really hard time starting a new show I've never seen. I don't know why that's so hard for me to do, but I don't love it. But like, you can't find new shows that you love without doing it. So I rewatched Superstore in February, and then I watched it again recently, and I was like, okay, I need something. I also forgot that before the Netflix era, so common for shows to have like 22, 24 seasons or episode seasons. And this, I think like season one had 22 or 23 episodes. There is so much TV here. All right, now onto the YouTube channels. The first one, these are all Scottish, actually. All four of them are Scottish. So the first one is the After Work channel. I found her back in March and she was doing some vlogging before she started a Project Pan last year, and she kind of does minimalism adjacent videos. I really like her, and she's been documenting her Project Pan, and those have been the only videos on her channel since March. She posts them once a month. They're not in the traditional Project Pan style where you hold up your product and you kind of showcase things. She does it vlog style, which is really entertaining. She's like a fun kind of editing style, and it's just kind of, it's more, if you like normal life content, that is her content. No ads or sponsorships on her channel either. And I think she's fun, enjoyable to watch. I also really like Taylor Fraser. Taylor Fraser, also from Scotland, she does vlogs as well, about once a week. She's a very small creator. And I find her vlogs very relaxing. There's no speaking, and she just does a lot of stuff around her home. I like to watch her videos along with my next recommendation in the morning just because I find them so relaxing. She does a lot of baking, or like she'll do errands, she'll do some cleaning or tidying around her house, a little gardening. It's just relaxing content for me. If you're familiar with the no talking style vlogs, this will be kind of familiar to you. I wouldn't really qualify this as like a traditional influencer vlog either, but it is, I think, more cinematic. Like, she does have her eye on to how she shoots things. And when I say aesthetics, like, I'm not trying to call her home beautiful or ugly. Well, I think she has a beautiful home, but it's not an influencer home. And when she's filming, she does focus a lot about like the shot and getting the nice shot, not so much trying to present her life in an aesthetic way. Although I do think that there's aesthetic elements of her home, although not like the traditional influencer home, if that makes sense. So feel like relaxing, kind of slow vlogs. She's another good one. Rewilding Jude. All of this Scottish stuff happened in March. I came across all of these channels in March around the same time. At the time, I was honestly like, I was so overwhelmed just with all of the content that I was watching into preparing the content that I make on this channel. There was just so much just overconsumption. And this is around the time of like the Lucky Scoops video and some other content like that. When I don't have a clear separation of work watching time and for me relaxing watching time, when I'm experiencing downtime, like if I'm eating lunch or in the morning or in the evening, I want content that is either neutral or positive. And positive can be something like a funny TV show, but it could also be something like a specific kind of vlog. So I was looking for positive influencing on myself, and I notice a big shift in my, like, how I feel on a daily basis when I'm watching content that I feel like is positive or nourishing or neutral. Like Star Trek is neutral. It's not in our world. It's a bit of escapism. It doesn't make me feel any kind of way about like myself or the planet or overconsumption. And it's like it's just like a fun escape. And all of these channels that I'm mentioning for me offer something positive. I really love that. And I watched all of their content up until they started their channel, all four of them. And then I stopped watching maybe May, like end of April, beginning of May. Super busy with work and moving and things like that. Came back to them. And I feel like it was just, that's how I feel. Next up is Rewilding Jude. Rewilding Jude is probably my favorite channel of the moment. And Jude bought a cottage in Scotland in 2023, 2024, something like that. And they have been renovating their cottage slowly over time. There's a lot of like use what you have, repurpose things, just a lot of the kind of slower or simpler living, planting things in your garden and cooking them. I'm watching right now them building their chicken coop. And listen, I don't want a chicken coop. I do not want a chicken coop, but it's so satisfying to watch this person like slowly build the life that they want. And I just find rural living just so comforting and so positive. Listen, I get influenced by content I watch all the time. And this is me influencing myself positively. This makes me want to go out and garden, or go bake some bread or go make some salsa or something. Like that's how I feel watching Jude's content. And it's such a refreshing, just positive place. Jude has such a great spirit and just great cinematography and video quality and editing. It's a beautiful place to be. Lastly is Catherine McQuiston. She lives on an island off of Scotland. She does vlogs, but more of like a traditional style of vlog with talking. You also see a lot of the gardening or going to places in Scotland. She's done some home renovations and she's gone to some like events with their friends in the pub, and she's done some traveling around Scotland and Ireland. She was the one who went to Canada a few weeks ago. Such lovely, I feel like warm content. Next up is the hobby section. Okay, I took a break from sewing and I came back because I had my mending pile of stuff I wanted to fix, and I've been wanting to take in some pants. I lost a lot of weight and majority of my pants do not fit me, but I don't at present have the skills to fix them. And so I was like, I'm going to learn how to take in my pants. I watched a few videos and there was one person who said to do it one way, and then another which was not taking off a waistband, basically just doing a dart from like the top of your pant to like the yoke part, not quite there, but this whole thing, just doing one dart all the way down. Another person said to take off the waistband. I said, how hard can it be to take off the waistband? Listen, I was an idiot. I was a big old idiot and forgot some of the sewing 101s, okay? Anyways, I made a mess out of these pants. Here's what the back looks like. Terrible. Absolutely terrible job. But guess what? You can't really tell from the back, and I also don't really care that you can tell that there were some seams on these pants because these were the test pants. I'm going to wear them, and the thing is about these is that these are now wearable to me, and the back looking kind of messy is not going to prevent me from wearing them. They're not like a nice occasion pant where maybe I would care a little bit more. These are like go out with my partner here or there or wear them around the house kind of thing. And if I didn't do it, I know I wouldn't have paid somebody to do it. And I probably would have like tried to sell them on Plato's Closet or something like that. But they are now wearable to me and I learned so much from doing it. I have like 10 more pairs of pants that need to be fixed. So I'm going to be doing my next one. And I talked in my Normalizing Normal Life video that you don't need to be good at a hobby in order to enjoy it. Now, arguably, when I realized how badly I fucked up these pants, it was not a fun time, okay? It was not a fun time. But it was overall like a good experience, and sewing is a hobby in progress. And I learned skills to do better next time, which is half of why I sew anyway. I don't need to be a master sewist to sew and for it to serve a purpose in my life, but I do want to get better. I don't need to be good though to enjoy it. And all of the bad, like it's just a reminder to me, like being okay, being bad at stuff, and like your first attempt, your second attempt, your third attempt, it's probably gonna be bad. It's probably gonna be bad, and that's okay. So now I have the confidence to tackle my next project, which is this super cute pair of like kick flare pants that I bought last year that I meant to sew last year but didn't. So now I'm gonna do it. And I'm very excited. Although it's like end of the summer and I wanted to wear them for spring and summer, but you know, we're here. We're here. The second thing in this category is running. Ever since moving, I had to find a new running path and I hated it. I don't like that. I loved my previous running path. And I spent a good few months fine tuning the route. And like one of the reasons why I run is the joy of running. I love running. It's one of those things that makes life better. Anyway, so with running, it's like 80%, 90% joy. But I did not like finding a new running path because I love my old one so much. And the first 3 runs of living here, I hated them. I hated it with like every fiber of my being. But by like the 4th run, I was in my groove. I found, where I like, and this area is more crowded with people walking, and I have running on the street more. There's bike lanes in the area that I am running, and I found that I really love running on the street. It's such like a this was actually my partner's doing. The last like 500 meters, 600 meters is downhill, which has been really lovely. And maybe like 6 weeks ago now, I was looking at some stats of like how people with different levels of experiences and different age groups, like how fast they run a 5K. And I saw that people who are in their early 30s, experienced runners, which they qualified as like over, I think, 2 years of experience, women in their 30s can run a 30-minute 5K. Up until that point, I hadn't run that. I think maybe like the closest was like 31:30, something like that. And I have been working on increasing my pace. And you know what? Last year, to interrupt this story with another story, I found out a different piece of information that the average woman runs a 5K at a 7:14 pace or 7:15, something like that, per kilometer. And I was running slower than that. And within one run, I came up to 7:11 or 7:14, something like that. And then just kept beating it, going faster and faster. And last year's personal best were things like 6:45. I think I did like a 6:38. Now, because I learned that piece of information, I was like, yeah, I can run a 6-minute per kilometer 5K. I can do that. Oh, it wasn't 6 weeks ago. It was like maybe 3 weeks ago. And I did it within 2 runs. And now I've had 3 runs over the 30-minute mark. I did like a 29:18 or something. So now I'm like, all right, the rest of the summer goal is like a sub 29. I have learned this month. Like I had 2 personal bests this month, far surpassing anything I had ever really done, but I also had some of the worst running in a long time. And the last run I had this month was a 3K run, and I typically do 5. And this month I also did a 1K a few days before that. And this month had far more variation than I typically do. And this month running was I feel like a lovely experience. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because the start of last year when I decided really affirmed that running is a hobby that I love, I also affirmed that running is a joyful experience. And I would rather run only 1Ks or only 3Ks to not run at all. Like, I just want to get out and run. And whatever I'm capable of doing, that's what I want to do. And so every time I go for a run, within the first few minutes or as I'm walking up to my starting point, I ask myself, what do you have today, Shauna? And within the first 500 meters, that's the assessment of what am I going to run today? Is it 3K? Is it 5K? That's usually kind of where I fall between just because of my route. And this month, being like truly open to that, at the start of last year, I would have struggled to have months where like majority of my runs or half of my runs were not what I expected or like a 5K. But this month was a reminder that my mindset has shifted. Like, yeah, there were runs that were complete shit because I didn't like my path and I was struggling to get used to it, but there was still an element of like getting out there and enjoying it. And even when I was not like physically in the place to run a 5K and I did 1K and a 3K and all of that, it was still, as I come in for my run, and was today better because I got to run and did I enjoy the run? If the answer to both those questions is yes, the run did its job. And I kind of feel like July was a real testament of the joy of running and the belief that I wanted to cultivate of just get out there and do it, whatever you're capable of doing. All right, let's now get into the lessons in life section. Up first is actually a little cleanser bar. Here she is. I think you can tell I've used it. Smells like clay. I don't know. The scent is not the best, but it's not offensive. So this is a great cleansing bar. It's from a small business, Canadian, plastic free. It came wrapped in paper. I still keep the paper, so if I want to like bring it places or if it's like, it dries out pretty quick because it's clay, but I like to hang on to the paper anyway. This was $2.50 and it's an awesome cleansing bar. And this was my reminder that sustainability or using plastic-free stuff doesn't have to be expensive. So much, I feel like, of people's expectations and sometimes mine in a way, like I was looking, or I have been looking this year, one of my goals is to consume less plastic. And so I've been trying to find plastic-free options or reduced plastic options for things when I finish them. And I've also wanted to support more small businesses and Canadian businesses too. And I got a cleanser from a different brand that was $50. And that one is good. Happy to support that business, but that was double the price for less product than I was getting with my previous cleanser, which again, it's not always like the price dictates quality with this $50 cleanser. Maybe it's $48. I am directly supporting an independently owned small business that is is actively trying to be plastic free, like serving the Canadian market, So it being more expensive is expected, but I think sometimes I get it into my head that some sustainability choices are just more expensive. But that's fundamentally untrue because a lot of sustainability is using what you have. So we can like repurpose, reuse, upcycle things we already have into other things, or just not the cutest thing, which I was reminded of as well. But something like this, where you are probably going to have to buy something, it's not $50 cleanser or nothing. And there are awesome, amazing plastic-free or reduced plastic options that are not $50. That's a $2.50 cleansing bar that works amazing. Sometimes I myself need like as I say, to touch grass or a little kick in the pants or a little wrench in my wheel to disrupt some thoughts or some beliefs even that aren't true, because I know that. I know it's not that one thing or expensive cleanser or nothing. There are lots of options out there. I don't want to harp on that too much, but I very much appreciate that reminder. All right, two related things next. One, I found close to me a thrift store that is the first non-corporate, non-consignment store that I've come across. Like, I've come across consignment stores that are independently owned, which was great. I found one in a small town close to me. They were kind of expensive because they were doing a lot of not quite designer, but a lot of like maybe higher end brands like Ralph Lauren, or they had like a bunch of Kate Spade, maybe stuff like that. So they were more expensive, which, they're small, they're independently owned, but they're also doing higher end brands. But I've been looking for more traditional thrift stores that are not like Goodwill or some of these like Christian run thrift stores. So this one it's community led, community driven. All of the money from this thrift store goes back into the community, and their existence is like really all about diverting waste. And I was like, oh my God, like people. And I went there. It was honestly the most chaotic thrift store I've ever been to. I've never seen anything more chaos in my life, but their book section was fire. I shared on Instagram some sewing magazines from the 70s. Also found some great bird books. And then there was this one like anti-consumer book that I've been wanting to buy. I didn't buy anything because, on the no buy, and I can go back there and get bird books whenever I want. But I was so excited to find them. I don't know that they're gonna be like the place for fashion items, and I think that they're reorganizing their home section, and I'm looking for furniture for the house. So I'll probably go back there in September and check out the situation. But it's so great to find a good thrift store by you. Okay, second, back in May, I got these pair of jeans from the thrift store. And when I was giving my update on, all the clothes I bought so far this year, I shared them. Sorry, I didn't get them from the thrift store. I got them from Plato's Closet. These jeans fit me like a glove. They are without a doubt the best fitting jeans I've ever owned. They fit me perfectly. I also got like some shorts and stuff, but they're just black pair of shorts that also fits me 10 out of 10. Amazing. I don't have the best look at the thrift store. I also don't go all the time, and there's so many people who have, philosophies about when to go to thrift store and how often and all of that. I don't love going to the physical thrift store. So I've been trying my hand at some of the consignment stores like Plato's Closet. And it's not that I've been ignoring the thrift store. I'm just like looking at all of my options because I want to do more secondhand clothing shopping and really do as much of that as possible. And if the physical thrift stores aren't my vibe, that's not the only option. Or if they're not, I'm not finding what I'm looking for. It's not that or nothing, And so I'm like, people talk shit about the consignment stores, but like, what if I find stuff there? And I found some great stuff there. And I don't know, this was just my reminder to get out of my head. And secondhand clothes, like I'd rather do that and have that be the shopping method than like start getting into my head like you can't shop at this store versus this store. Whatever, in my opinion, helps you shop the way you want to shop, like makes that easier, why not do it? And when you're shopping at the thrift store, like you keep checking and you're not finding anything, sometimes I'm just like, screw it, I'm just gonna go and buy it new. And I need those pieces like every so often to find a gem, to be my own reminder that great stuff is at my thrift store. I say it on this channel, right? Great stuff is at the thrift store, but if you're not finding the great stuff, it can be discouraging. So now I have these reminders hanging in my closet. Great stuff is at the thrift store. And those Lululemon pants I bought, they were just so good. Like the perfect thing. And I do watch thrifting content and thrift flip content, kind of like I was talking about earlier in the YouTube section, to be like watching things that positively influences myself. But if I'm watching people constantly find great stuff at the thrift store, and you're not, that can be discouraging. So whenever I have that, or whenever I have that experience, I'm like, you know what? Here are my physical reminders of the great stuff that I found recently. You're good. There's going to be more stuff. Those were the lessons, mostly. Now onto the life. I went plant shopping with my partner last week. We visited a few greenhouses and just to spend time with the plants. It's so good. I haven't been to a greenhouse in years, like probably 4 years, because I went on a plant hiatus. But we decided we were just going to visit the greenhouses just to see what they had and we weren't going to buy anything, which we didn't. And so we got to see so many cool plants and just being with the plants just made me so happy. Here's a photo of me with the plants. That was just a lovely time. And I would highly recommend if you just want to spend some time with nature. Like, yeah, we go on hikes and we go out in nature all the time, but there was just something about the plants that was extra nourishing and I loved it. And you don't have to buy things in order to spend time in nature or like go appreciate the plants. I also, there's this pond by my house and I haven't stopped by the pond yet. I've just kind of walked around it. On one of my walks last week, I stopped by the pond and, sat down for a bit and there was all of these ducks swimming in the pond or like, kicking about. And there was like 10 of them. There were so many. And it was like 8 o'clock at night. It was breezy. It was calm. And they were just there paddling about with their little feet. And then this one duck, it came close to me. I'm going to show you a picture. It was much closer than it appears in the photo. Animals are so majestic. I do want to get a bird feeder for my patio or my balcony so I can get the birds. I want the birds to come. And okay, I should have put this with the clothes, but I missed it. I had this outfit the other day that was just basic outfit, but I felt like a camp counselor and I felt so cute. So I'm going to share it with you now. I like the way that I look without makeup 100%, but I don't always like appreciate myself or like my outfits or the way that I look just as like all of the things without makeup. And on the days that like I'm really feeling myself without makeup and in whatever outfit I'm in, I want to like take a picture and appreciate them. And that was one of my moments. Okay, that's everything for me. I hope you enjoyed this one. I would love to hear the favorite things, favorite moments of your life recently. What's been going on? What have you been loving? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for being here. I loved having you and I hope to see you again around here soon for a new video. Bye.